Howdy friends, Guthrie Trapp here, coming to you again from East Nashville, Tennessee, here in my living room. I wanted to take the time to do another video today. I'm going to be knocking these out more frequently. Might be a little shorter clip-wise, time-wise, but going to be more consistent. I really want to try to get this channel going and just get some stuff out there. Man, thanks so much again, always, for all the support. I say this every time, but I can't not do it. I'm getting some great feedback that I just really appreciate. Very, very encouraging, and man, we're learning together. I'm learning, you guys are learning, so I couldn't be happier with this. Today, I'm going to get into a little bit of some key notes in the blues. We're going to stick to like the A pentatonic scale, work right around this A blues shape. We're going to work in the pentatonic scale, but I'm going to incorporate a couple other just really simple. I'm going to try to start simple and break this down into some of the notes that you can use when going to the 4 chord and the 5 chord. Just a simple blues overview here, you know, just adding some stuff to the pentatonic. So what I'm going to show you is, and we'll get into this more and more as these lessons go on, and of course I can help you privately if you want to do all the checking the links below with my website and the lessons and artist works and everything that has to do with that mailing list, website. I mean, come on, man, I've got it all, and I have to promote it a little bit here and there. So thanks a lot for that. Getting back to this, there's a little bit of theory that goes along with this, but not a lot. Basically, I'm going to be using this kind of vibe right here. A pentatonic shape out of A, but then when we go to the 4 chord, to the D chord, we're going to be looking at this D9 shape. But even before that, we're going to look at this just D bar chord. And then more importantly than that, we're going to look at the triad, that triad right there. And this is what comes from learning the chord is, and this is how important the cage system is in the triads, is this chord right here, this triad, that D, when I drop that 1 down from the G string, down a whole step, that gives me this, that D7, that A position D bar chord, but then the D7, taking it down to that triad, that D7, and then if you look at it like this, that's an octave. So, excuse me. So that octave right there, this creates your D7 right there. So that's combining the G shape, the A shape, but you can see that it's a little crossing over there from one shape to the next, and that's what it's all about. We're taking this A shape, breaking it down into the triad, showing you that flat 7, which we'll get to why that's important in a second. That A-shaped D7 like that, which is really out of your G shape, which is all this. So we'll get to that too. It's hard to explain this without getting into where it came from, because that's important. So I just don't want to randomly show you this and not tell you the background of it, because otherwise it's pointless. Sorry, I got a little allergy, head cold thing going here, but I didn't want, the show must go on, right? So using that D7 and seeing the relationship of that versus your A7 and your A minor pentatonic blues shape. So when using something like this, some classic blues licks like this, right out of the pentatonic, I'm bending on this string, G on the 7th fret, up to my 5, and then I'm playing like that Chuck Berry, but so bending, so I'm bending up, but I'm not bending back down. So up to the tonic, and then landing on that flat 7. Right out of A7, that G note. So, and then back to the 5. These are target notes. These are definitely target notes. So that up to the 5. And then right back to the 1. So, right? So I'm starting on the 1 actually. I bent first of all here. But I'm actually starting now on the 1, on A. So I'm going right up the pentatonic. So that's my first lick. But I'm bending up. I could go to that lick, or that note there. So we're using these notes. Right, and the best thing you can do for this is to just listen to a lot of blues. Listen to Albert King, B.B. King, Stevie Ray Vaughan, all the greats that you can, Albert Collins, all these guys. Some of them use different tunings, which makes it a little more difficult. I know Albert Collins used a crazy tuning, but you can still hear their phrasing and what they're using. So these are great. Even guys like Robin Ford, they definitely use the pentatonic a lot. It's just what you do with it. Excuse me. So something like that. I'm cycling a lot through this, a lot of phrasing right through this. So before I get back to the 1, so I'm starting on the 1, going up to that octave 1, coming back to the 5 because that's a target note, and then right back to the 1. So, and I'm not going to break all this down as much as I will, in the future, but as far as that lick. But this is what I wanted to show you, is going to the 4 chord. So I'm targeting the D. I'm targeting the major third of that D chord, which happens to be right there. So I'm walking up. Chromatically from the E note on the B string 5th fret to that F sharp note on the 7th fret. Now watch. So this over D. I do that on the high E string, same basic notes as we're using on A. I keep hitting the G string. It's the D string. From that chord, the D7. So, because that's the flat 7 of D now. So you can see how all this is related. So that kind of lick right there. That's going right to that D. So that lick, I'm climbing right up, because right behind your flat 7 of A, G, is that F sharp, the major third of D. So then you can add that to it. A, B, C, because that's covering your D7. back. So I'm all out of this shape. D7 shape. So again. So when I do this, I'm still basically repeating myself, walking back into this, the major third of D, and then walking back from this shape. So D, D flat, or C sharp to C. So right back to A. So when I go to the 5 chord, I'm going to play right out of the E minor pentatonic. So when I go to that 5, excuse me. So I'm already looking at my E minor pentatonic. I'm already using some of the notes of the A minor pentatonic as well. It just works, right? So right here, I like to cue off of that B, the 5 of E, right? So you don't want to hit this note. That's not going to work, but this does. And I always give that flat 3 a little bit of a twist. You want to send that note in the direction of the major third, but you don't want to do this. That's a little bit too not funky enough, right? Not greasy enough. So we want to go. Oh, sorry. Because look, here's our chord. Back to that A pentatonic. So that's just manipulating that minor pentatonic over and over again, like we did in the last lesson, of just hitting those key target notes, those phrases. Because there's your 4 chord. So I'm going to go down A minor pentatonic, and then from that flat 7, see how that works into that chord? I might go right up an arpeggio from that D7 at that point. Right back to my A. So that lick. From the A minor pentatonic right to the 5. Because that's my E, another target note, that E. So the target note on the 4 chord, F sharp, because that's the major third of the 4 chord. But we're going to use that C as well, because that's what tells us it's dominant 7, the C against the F sharp. That's called a tritone. So going to the 5 chord, this minor third of the 5 chord, flat 3 of the 5 chord, I'm also going to give it a little twist, which means bending in the direction of the major third, just so it's not so literally minor pentatonic or minor third versus major third. We want it to be somewhere in the middle. It's this kind of groove. It's not, but it's not. It's in the middle, right? It's a semitone kind of world there. So I hope this is making sense. Some of this is hard to explain in a short amount of time because it's important for me to show you where this comes from. It's like giving a guy a bunch of fish or teaching him how to fish. I can teach you a bunch of licks, but if you're not seeing ultimately the ground level foundation of where they're coming from, it's kind of pointless. So forgive me for taking a minute to try to get to these key notes and how they work around these chords, but it's really important for me to show you where this comes from, because that's what's going to ultimately take you on the path of learning how to play the guitar. It's not if I show you a bunch of licks, they don't make any sense because you're not seeing where they come from. They all come from the chord. That's why the cage system and the triads and seeing how to build those simple chords, major 7, flat 7, minor, in all the triads up the neck. That is the stuff that's going to change your life on the guitar. Trust me, I'm telling you the truth. But this kind of stuff like this, these key phrases and key notes in the blues, these are big things. So when you're playing out of A, again, I'm going to go through these examples one more time. Playing out of A, just that simple goes to the 4 chord. So I'm playing the blues. So I'm looking at this shape. Because go to the 5. Go to the 4. I might do an arpeggio right out of this shape. That's over the 4 chord. So right here, look how cool this is. Right back to my 1, right? So our key notes there are the flat 7. We're over the 4 chord. In the key of A, in a blues progression, we're playing over the 4 chord, which is D7 or D9. And our key notes over that, out of our A pentatonic scale. These are built right in. So the key notes are C. So C, B, A, G, F sharp, E, and then walking down from D on the G string to C, that flat 7, and then A, G, F sharp. That arpeggio up is the 1, 3, 5, 1, and then right back to the right back to your A. So I hit an E there. So 1, 3, 5, flat 7, 1, and then the E. That puts you right back into the A minor pentatonic. So trying to get you to see that chord. So those key notes, again, major 3, we're talking about going into the 4 chord. Major 3rd, flat 7, 5, 3, 1. Flat 7, and then back to the 1. Go to the 5. Over the 5 chord, it's E minor pentatonic. So, or E minor pentatonic. Same rule actually applies for the E9 too. Same, because look, here's your D shape, there's your E shape, you're just connecting those 2 minor pentatonics together. So you can always play minor pentatonic over the 5 chord, E minor pentatonic over E, with that little semitone bend. Right back to your A. So, and then with your playing over the A, you can use these notes too. Those same ones we used in D, some of those same ones we can use over A7. So that would be same kind of minor pentatonic shape, but we're going to add, instead of just this, we're going to add instead of just this, we're going to add half step down. It's going to be the same exact pattern on all 3 strings. Watch. Right? So that's so cool because it's the same. It's out of the pentatonic, but it's the same 3 notes here. I'm just going to half step down on each one in that A minor pentatonic. Now the same on the next octave. I'm adding this. So with that can give us a little bit more kind of uptown jump blues kind of sound if we want. T-Bow Walker. Put the major 3rd in right there. I couldn't help it. That's right out of this chord. Now that's how we're gonna. I'm gonna stop there, but that's how we're gonna start getting out of the minor pentatonic box. We're gonna start incorporating a couple of those little kind of spice notes, grease notes, whatever you want to call it. We're going to start getting out of that minor pentatonic, and we're going to start inching our way into this more uptown blues chord, A dominant 7, but we're going to add the 13, which gives you that real uptown jump blues sound. And this is what you're going to end up with. I'm segueing this lesson into, which eventually we're going to get into really dissecting the blues and getting into this kind of stuff. But so with that, I'm a little under the weather, folks, so that lesson was a little scattered. I hope you got something out of that. I got to say, check out the links, check out my music. If you want to donate via PayPal or Venmo, you can. Some guys are starting to do that, so I'm starting to throw that into the mix here. You can always do a private lesson with me. Artist Works is amazing. Check that out. But other than that, if you come to Nashville, let me know. I'm usually playing around somewhere. Got some cool stuff coming up with Sean Camp. Got an Oats tour coming up. Some clinic stuff that we're working on. All kinds of stuff happening, folks. So looking forward to it all. Thanks again for being so cool on here and sending all the positive comments. Every once in a while I'll get somebody that tells me I talk too much, or I need a new microphone on my iPhone that I've got sitting on a chair here in my living room. But you know what? Most of you guys are super cool, and you're telling me that you like it and you like the no frills kind of setup. I do too. It's easy and to the point. The content is king. So I'm just going to keep it going. Thank you so much, friends, and we'll talk to you real soon. All right. See ya.